folks, Mr. Albert here with Mr. Albert Jr. on the camera. We're going to try and produce you something a little bit like Steven Spielberg, because we're like a highly professional camera crew. So some of you, not many, but some of you have written a description of the setting that we put onto the internet, onto Purple Mash yesterday, and I take the blame myself that you haven't all seen it. However, I do have some really good examples in, and what we're going to do this morning or this afternoon is we're going to look at how we can up-level that work that we've done and make it even better, and then we're going to do some more work on it tomorrow, and then by the end of the week we're going to write something very fantastic. So today we're going to up-level some of the work that we've got in. So some of you have sent work in, and we're going to look at how we can up-level those bits, and then you can then apply that to your own work. So you're editing and up-leveling your work. So I'm not sure if Noah is going to have to move a little bit closer here, but on my washing line of amazement, we have a fantastic sentence which is really quite good, and it really sums up the imagery of that picture very well. The polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. Fantastic sentence. But what I want to do with you, what we're going to talk through now, is how we can make this sentence, which is very high quality, we're going to talk about how we can make it even better. And Mr. Timon would have taught you about writing in passive voice and in passive voice and things like that. He's much cleverer than me, so I don't want to get distracted with that or confuse you with that. So I'm just going to talk you through how I would make this sentence that little bit better, make it a little bit clearer. So, the polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. This bit's fantastic. The polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. We need to change the ending. We need to make that ending even better. But I'm going to start with this bit here, the polluted water, because I can, just by adding a few words, I can add a bit more detail to this sentence that will make it even more fantastic. So what I'm going to do is focus on, look at that, amazing. I'm going to focus on these three words, and I'm going to build this into a stronger noun phrase. So the polluted water, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to think out aloud, I'm going to teach out aloud as if we were modelling, as if you all sat there behind Noah, which you're not, so it's a little bit strange, but this would be how you'd be taught in a normal lesson. So the polluted water is really good description, but what my reader wants to know, what I want to know, is what's made it polluted. How does that look? How does it smell? How would it taste if I drank it? Probably wouldn't drink it if it's polluted. So I'm going to add in some adjectives here. So if something's polluted, it doesn't look very nice, does it? So I'm going to add in some words that help my reader visualise what we're doing. So the polluted water, an obvious one would be the dirty polluted water, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to use the word foul. Now, not a football foul, foul as in disgusting. There's the foul, which is if you foul and you tackle somebody in football, it's spelled the same way. That's a synonym, I think, or a homonym. But we won't get detailed on the semantics there, so this isn't the purpose of what we're doing. Foul in this sense means smelly. So the foul, polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. So already, with just that adding that word, foul, polluted to me as a reader means dirty. Now foul, I'm thinking probably it smells quite bad. And the word foul, excuse me, the word foul is making me think there's possibly like flies hovering above it. The foul, polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. Instead of foul, I could put another type of word here, another adjective. So I'm going to remove the foul, and I'm to put in a word that I think is probably fits in nicely with the picture. I'm going to go with the word toxic. Now, you've probably all heard the word toxic. It means poisonous. The toxic polluted water makes a citizen's mouth dry. So toxic or foul, they're both conjuring up images of smell to me and scent, so that's good. Obviously I'd be asking you if you was here, but there's a comma after the noun to split them up, because we've got two adjectives, beg your pardon, we've got two adjectives that describe our noun. So in our noun phrase we've got a list of adjectives, so we've put a comma in there. The toxic polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. So just by adding one word, could be foul, could be toxic. What other words could we use there? Disgusting, insipid, dirty, filthy. But what you want to do is, polluted to me means what it looks like, so you want to use a different sense. Okay? Okay, so we turned the noun phrase into an expanded noun phrase by adding in another adjective at the top there. What I want to do here is improve the ending of the sentence. So we've improved the start, now let's think about the ending. And what I would do if I was in year 5 or 6, trying to impress Mr. Timon or shock horror Mr. Albert, is adding a bit of figurative language somewhere. So I'm thinking about some figurative language that we could put here instead of just making the citizen's mouth dry. Very descriptive. The polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry. So I'm going to change it slightly, and I'm thinking of an appropriate metaphor or appropriate simile, or some other form of figurative language that would improve this. So when you're thinking of dry, making your mouth dry, dry is to do with heat, so you wouldn't say as dry as a river, because a river is anything but dry, so you'd be dry as something else. So the most dry thing I can imagine right here is a desert. But does a desert really fit in with the picture? So we've got this big industrial city, maybe like a moon dust or something like that. Maybe something like that would be more appropriate, but because I'm not as clever as you lot, I'm going to go with a desert because I'm lazy as well. But the toxic polluted water makes the citizens' mouths dry as a desert. So I'm just going to add on the end here. We're going to change it again. So I'm removing that full stop. Makes the citizens' mouth dry as a desert. And I can see Noah behind the camera, but you can't see. He's pointing at something because he knows that I've made a deliberate mistake, because I need a word in here, don't I? So the toxic polluted water makes the citizens' mouths as dry as a desert. That was good pointing by Noah. Good pointing, Noah. The toxic polluted water makes the citizens' mouth as dry as a desert. No, don't film me. The sentence is much better than me. The toxic polluted water makes the citizens' mouths as dry as a desert, which is okay. If I was in year 3 or 4, my goodness, my teachers would be blown away with that. Because I'm in year 5 or 6, still impressive, but I think we can make it slightly more, we can make it better. We can condense it, not to have so many words in a sentence, we can condense it. So we want to convey that image of making the citizens dry. And you might not know the word, but while we're teaching, we can expand your vocabulary. And there's a word called parched, and it means really dry. The floor was parched because of the burning sun. So the toxic polluted water makes the citizen's mouth as dry as a desert. Fantastic use of figurative language. Lower key stage 2, but we're upper key stage 2. So the toxic polluted water makes the citizens parched. I'm going to get rid of all of these if you don't mind, Noah. here. And I'm going to put it in purple. The toxic polluted water makes the citizens parched. Makes the citizens parched with a comma, because then I'm going to add in my figurative language afterwards. Makes the citizens parched. I'm going to chuck this into a semicolon, which will really blow Mr. Timon's socks off. Toxic polluted water makes the citizens parched. And parched means they're really thirsty, so they are desperate. And I'm thinking, because it's a bit scientific, a bit technical, I'm not going to put water. Desperate for, and again, Noah's mouthing at me behind the camera. He's wanting the word liquid in there, which sounds a bit scientific. So liquid. Still quite a long sentence actually. I wasn't aiming to reduce the length of this sentence, but this is good quality stuff. Mr. T, he would absolutely love it. So we're not going to shorten it. The toxic polluted water makes the citizens parched, desperate for liquid refreshment. We could even put desperate for liquid. We could maybe put in a comma. Let me just read out, Noah, keep filming that sentence. Let me just read out the original sentence, which I did love, against the old one. So the original sentence was, the polluted water makes the citizen's mouth dry, which is perfect. We've just up-leveled it very slightly. The toxic polluted water makes the citizens parched, desperate. Okay, so we're now looking at our the way you can up-level our second sentence. So we've already talked about expanded noun phrases and figurative language. Two easy jobs for you guys at home to do, less easy for me doing it in front of you with a camera, but you can do that. That's not a problem at all. Now this second sentence, this is a year 6 sentence, and this is from Big Willie style. Willoughby Easter way. It's a fantastic sentence. I was so chuffed with this sentence. I was really impressed with it. Your finger's going to be over the top of that. And you get all sorts of complaints from the cinema audience. But this is an amazing sentence. I was really impressed with this, Wills. A dense, dark grey fog descends upon the industrial steampunk metropolis. Now, what you don't know is me and Big Willie, we had a discussion and he's put in some deliberate mistakes. And I'm asking you, Savannah Clifton, what is the deliberate mistake? That's right, Savannah. Willoughby deliberately left out his commas. He was trying to trick people. Thank you for that, Willoughby. Amazing, amazing learning opportunity you gave me there. So a dense, dark grey fog descends, easy for me to say, descends upon the industrial steampunk metropolis. That is an incredible sentence. That's already blown Mr. Timon's socks off. Mr. Timon was on the camera to me. We were doing one of our hourly video catch-ups, and when he read that sentence, he fell off his chair, went backwards. All I could see was his feet, and then his socks blew off. It was amazing, but it is an incredible sentence. This, you know, if Willoughby had wanted to, he would have included that, but he wanted to put it in as a learning point. So I'm not going to focus on that. What I'm going to focus on is something else, and we're going to just restructure this sentence. Now, I've put a link on to the school website where you can join in with a lady called Jane Considine doing a sentence stacking. Now, Jane is just down the road from us. I've done a lot of work with Jane in the past. She's amazing. So if you do get a chance to join in with her lessons, you should. But this idea, I learnt this from Jane a few years ago, and it's something really simple, this washing line, so it's just a bit of string, this washing line, but we can move it about. And Jane's got her own method of teaching English, and she calls it fantastics and boomtastics, and she used to have something called elastics as well, but she changed the wording on that now. But elastic is holds your trousers up and your pants up and stuff like that. But elastics can be bent and it can move around all over the place. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the elastics, which is an adverbial phrase. We're going to look at a prepositional elastic, which sounds like loads of words, fancy words. And we're going to move the structure of these words around, and it's just going to vary the way we do the sentence, just to make sure you're entertaining your reading. So preposition is where something happens, or it could be when something happens, but in this case, it's where something happens. A dense, dark grey fog descends upon the industrial steampunk metropolis. What part of that sentence is telling us, Stanley, what part of the sentence is telling us a preposition? What part is it telling us where something happened? Yes, that's right, Stanley, it's this end bit, upon the industrial steampunk metropolis. So I'm going to lift this using the power of elastics, as defined by Jane. And we're going to move this part of the sentence down. So our sentence is going to end with a dark, dense grey fog. That's a nervous cough, by the way, everybody. I don't have any illnesses, just nervous performing. So now, my restructured sentence, before you do tell me, Harrison, I do realise that upon does not yet have a capital letter, but it's just for a work in progress at the moment, Harrison. Thank you for pointing that out. Upon the industrial steampunk metropolis, a dense, dark, grey fog descends. It sounds quite good already. Upon the industrial steampunk metropolis, a dense, dark, grey fog descends. So just because Harrison's chirping up, we can all hear you, Harrison. We're going to change that to a U. Is that okay? Upon the industrial steampunk metropolis. We're going to cross this full stop out. That's no longer the end of our sentence. And if it's all right with Willoughby, I'm going to add in a word here. I'm going to use the word slumbering. Which means sleeping. Upon the slumbering, industrial, steampunk metropolis. And we change that to a comma. A dense, dark, grey fog descends. Loving this. Upon the slumbering industrial steampunk metropolis, a dense, dark, grey fog descends. Now, what I would possibly do next is after this, put my full stop on the end. Thank you very much, Madison. Oh, looks like a comma. After this, I'd probably talk about how it's enveloping or covering like a duvet or something like that, putting a bit of figurative language, but I'd certainly say that enveloping the city, the fog created a claustrophobic atmosphere, or enveloping the city, the fog choked the life out of the daylight. So something along those lines. But we've up-leveled two sentences today. Really good starting sentences, but just with that little bit more work, we've up-leveled it. So what I want you to do now, and you can put the camera back on me now, Stephen Steelbeer, you can, I want you to have another go at your work. I want you to edit it. Now, we haven't got purple cadence and things like that, but you've only written a paragraph, so I want you to rewrite your paragraph. Using some of the skills we've done today, so we did expanded phrases, figurative language, a bit of adverbial phrases and prepositional phrases, using it around the sentence. I want you to apply those to your work and then get mums and dads to take a photograph and send it to us at school, to the school office, and then we'll have another look again. And what I'm going to do tomorrow, Oh, camera trickery, Noah. What I'm going to do tomorrow, which is Wednesday, is I'm going to write my own paragraph. I'm going to share it with you, and then we're going to look at how we could use this setting to start a story. So I'm going to write my own setting, and then we're going to use it the following days to write a story. So make sure you uplevel your work, get it sent in to me, because obviously some of you